Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where we now need to work on another contract. We've finished up what contracts we have here. We came back from Minmus, and that's absolutely fine. Do we have any more exploration contracts? Yes. Explore Eve. Okay, so an Eve flyby. That's easy enough, but we're not going to do that right now. Right now, we have a contract to do the KNB National Space Vault from 4T4T. That is with the Kerbal National Bank as our client. And it turns out robbery has been a problem ever since we unleashed Madbro upon the nation. Apparently, Madbro stole 20 million Kerbal bucks worth of money, and we need to fix that. So they want to attach a vault to our station that we already have in orbit. If we hop into the tracking station, we currently have our refueling slash recycling station here. And that is the station, and we should probably the module ship. This is the one that has no power, right? No, it has power. What ship is this? There was a reason that we couldn't do anything with this, if I recall correctly. What is this? It has... I thought it was that it had no power. But according to what it said there, it had power. Or maybe I was looking at the wrong one. This is the actual station. Okay. So it is... this one, then. This is considered the science module. We're going to switch over to that. And this is, I think, is the one that we cannot do anything with and needs to be untracked. Yes, the reason we can't do anything with this is because we have no electric charge. We can't throttle up, we can't do anything. We could do a mission to come up here and rescue this, in theory. But that sounds like work, and there's barely anything here. It will eventually decay, this orbit, and I think that's fine. I mean, not in KSP. In reality, it would eventually decay because the surface underneath it is not perfectly spherical. But that's not modeled in KSP. So eventually that orbit will decay. It'll get caught in the atmosphere. It'll burn up. So we're just going to untrack it. We don't need to know where that is. What could possibly go wrong? And I want to make sure I'm getting the correct one here. This is the one loaded as the science module, not named the module ship. The science module ship. So that's this one, and it has no electric charge. That is correct, so we terminate that one. Okay, so we need to get ourselves a vault that links up to our station there. So let's leave this facility and hop into the VAB, and we'll work on designing ourselves one. We're going to base this off of probably the science module here, and we'll just modify it from that. There we go. That took a little while to load in. Cool. So we're going to hop in here. And yeah, I think we'll load in the science module to start with. Of course, we're going to have to make substantial changes for that. And what do we actually need here? I want to go for the... this one will do. Actually, let's go with the more expensive one. This is a science module here, I think. No, this is a core module. Okay, that's fine. So we're going to be bringing up another module here. We're going to detach it here, and we're going to basically get rid of, actually not there, we're going to detach it here, and we're going to get rid of all of this, and we'll work from here upwards. So we're going to put in another docking port here. Of course, we'll need a Clampatron docking port. Do we want this to be a dead end module? No, I think it's fine to have it be this way. So what are the constraints here? It needs to have at least one security guard on board. Now, off camera, I've already gone in and hired Franlin for that. And we're actually at 12 out of 12 Kerbals right now, so we're going to have to do something about that. But I've already hired Franlin to be our security guard. And it must support over 1,000 kilograms of gold. So, like 1 metric ton. Use cargo bays, and the gold can be anything that looks the most like gold. I think realistically, the thing that might look the most like gold might end up being the Probodobodine Hex in this module. Potentially. I mean, that's pretty golden. So in that form, or potentially like the Octo, or the Octo 2. Those are all basically the same model, right? I don't think there's anything else that is amazingly golden, at least not that I'm aware of. We could go with like these Communitrons. That's a theoretical possibility in the gold variant. Other options that we could go with. Is there like a gold foil covered girder segment? I don't think so. Can we search for gold? This is one of the rare things that would be easier in KSP2. Yeah, we can't search for gold. So I think it would be basically something like this, right? And we would just decide, this is probably not what we want. There's a significant amount of it that's not actually golden. The Probodobodine pieces, those are probably the best that we can get. And we'll choose based on the value, which of course the Octo 2 is the most valuable, and on the mass of it. So this is 0.04 tons. I'm going to assume that 1,000 kilograms is 1 metric ton, and that what we have here is 1 metric ton. So we're aiming for 1 ton of gold. I mean, these are much better in terms of mass. And by better, I mean worse, because they're 0.1 tons compared to 0.04. So if we want this to be equivalent, it would be, let's see here, this would be 0.08, 0.12, 0.16. So this would be equivalent to like 1.5 of these. So this is 0.16, 0.32. That would then be 0.48. And then this would be 0.64. Yeah, 0.64. 0.72, I think. No, 0.7? No, 0.8. What am I? Okay, hang on. I need to do this. Calculator time. I'm bad at this. So I want to do 1 divided by 0.04. 25 of these is what we need. Okay, so how many is this? Well, I'm going to do it this way. So we know that this is 5, right? So this is now 10, 15, 20, 25. This would be our payload. And we can get rid of these. So obviously that's quite a bit of cash. I feel like the bank would be paying for this. I guess that's what the advance payment was for. So this would be the payload. We need a way to store this now. And how do we want to do that? I was kind of thinking like almost Space Shuttle main cargo bay-esque. Or like one of these service modules. With the open variant. But we can't really put things into that the way I'd like to, unfortunately. We could do it via service base. I wish there was a, like, taller service bay that's basically the same thing, but, like, much, much taller, so that we have basically just these bays. And ideally with only one door. But we could do this via service base. That's a theoretical option. We need a number of these to make it work. So how many of these can we fit in there? Actually, we wouldn't need a number of these to make it work. We would just need to use like an engine plate sort of thing. An engine plate would be an interesting solution here. So an engine plate would go in like this. And we would have this be at least quad. For now, I'll store these here. That's not their final location. And I want to grab these 5. Oh, do we need to flip the engine plate here? Yes. Yes, we do. So actually, we should have this be 4 and 1. Like this. So this is actually really quite good. I've been duplicating these, by the way. I've not been just directly moving them. So it would be something kind of like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we can definitely have a few more of these. We can fill this up reasonably to be kind of like this. We could maybe even get another one in there. Just cram that on in. I don't want it to be on the top one. I want it to be attached down here. There's an attachment node on the top that it's wanting to grab. We might be able to zoom in and position the camera just right to get in there. There. That one. Okay. So something like this. This is going to be over a metric ton of gold. So that is 30 of these. So how much tonnage is that? That is 30 times 0.04. That is 1.2 metric tons of gold. I'm going to call that over 1,000 kilograms of gold. We can definitely fit more in here if we really wanted to. Honestly, it does fit with 6, doesn't it? I feel like that fits quite well, actually. So something kind of like that. That fits in there nicely. It's quite expensive, obviously. But, I mean, we're still profitable here. So now we need a security guard. Indeed. So a security guard is going to be in probably like a regular capsule. Maybe we would go with like a Mark 1-3 command pod, like this. And then inside of that, this has a reaction wheel in it, so that's absolutely fine. We would then put a docking port on the nose. So a docking port like so on the nose. We would definitely want to have at least some power generation on here. I'm going to have it retractable in case the bank decides that they don't like this arrangement and they want to bring this back. I'm going to have retractable solar panels. I'm also going to put parachutes on here in case the bank wants their gold back. They might want it back. You never know. So we're going to put on a pair of radial mount drogue chutes. We're going to do that here. And then I'm going to do a pair of radial mount main chutes. I think I'll put those here so as to not block the windows. And actually, I'm going to put these like that. That's slightly better, I think. Cool. So something along the lines of this is all we would need. We would definitely want to have some strut connectors, making sure that this is a relatively stable connection. No doubt about that. So something along the lines of that would do. But beyond that, this seems pretty good. So we just send this vault up. The way that you're intended to access it is via this. I wish there was a way to lock the service bay. That'd be nice, but unfortunately there isn't. We'll just pretend that the guard has an ability to lock it. Franlin will, of course, be flying this monstrosity. It has a lot of things in here. Oh, that's kind of ridiculous looking. We could probably fit more. Think we can fit in 8x1? 8x1 is kind of the best we can do. Oh, is the game crashing? It stopped responding. I'll give it a bit here, but I'm going to pause the recording and we'll see if this comes back. I sure hope I don't lose this. If I do, I will try to rebuild it off. Oh, wait. I think we're back. We're back. Never mind. I'm going to put this in here. Apparently, this is exceptionally laggy. Okay, I'm going to get this all built here where these are put in on the 8X. Oh, it's, I think because we're in symmetry mode. Okay, well, regardless, I'll be back in a moment when this is less laggy. Okay, We've got it back. We've got this set up where there are 8 in here. It seems like it didn't like duplicating these stacks. That seems to be the problem. But there are now 8 plus 1 in here, so we've got as much as we can possibly cram in there. We can close the service bay. I've already named this 4T4T's KNB National Space Vault because I was paranoid about the game crashing and us having to do this from scratch. Luckily, that didn't happen, and we did not have to do that. So that is all good. I think we're ready to launch this thing. Yes, it's expensive, but we can always recover it. We may actually want, now that I'm thinking about it, we may actually want to detach this here and put in a heat shield down here, just in case they want it back. So it would be something kind of like that. We put in a heat shield there. This docking port, how do we get rid of that? We would have to detach this docking port at the station, I think, for the heat shield to properly work. But I think that's a doable thing. So we launch this as is, I think. I don't know how much these are going to rattle around in here. We may actually want to consider strutting them, like, together in a really awkward way, like this. Oh, that's really awkward. No, I hate it. I'm going to get rid of that. Hopefully we don't need it. Okay, let's put this monstrosity out on the pad. And with us having now 45 of those, that's 45 times 0.04. That is almost 2 metric tons of gold. So that should be good for the KNB National Space Vault. They requested one metric ton. So that'll be fine. Have an antenna for comms with Kerbin. We did not include that on this. I should note, we do have antennas on the station as it is, and there is a built-in antenna in every single one of those probe cores. As well as our normal probe core. This is taking a long time to load. As well as our normal probe core that we have on here, as well as a built-in antenna in our capsule. So all of that already exists. And with how long this is taking to load, I think we're not going to revert it for that antenna. I think we're going to say that the antenna is covered by the, like, 50 antennas almost that we already have on this thing, plus all of the antennas on our space station. I think we're going to say that's good enough. The game is not responding right now, and I guess I'll pause the recording again, and I'll be back once it properly loads. Oh my. Okay, that wasn't too bad. It took it about an extra 30 seconds. Realistically, I probably didn't have to cut it there. But that's okay. We'll throttle up, SAS on. The frame rate is a little bit suspect right now, but I blame all of this nonsense. Look at all that gold, Madbro. There's so much gold in here, and you'll never get it. We're just taunting Madbro at this point. Here comes Madbro, running down to get the gold. I wish there was actually Madbro here. That would be amazing. And we're out of here. Goodbye, Madbro. Fantastic. So honestly, I think it'll be reasonably stable. Reasonably. So up we go here. Beautiful. And we're just getting our gravity turn going. We want to target about 200 kilometers, if I recall correctly. Yeah, 200 kilometers is reasonably fine. Picking up a very minor roll here that I've corrected. Overcorrected at this point. And I'm just going to park here. Yes, I've aggressively gravity turned. There's no doubt about that. I'm going to park here. We're seeing time to apoapsis still increase, so that's beautiful. We've got another 25 seconds of burn on our SRBs. This is actually a quite light payload with how small it is. So all we got to do is deliver this tonnage up to our existing station. Yeah, this should be absolutely fine. 15 more seconds of burn on these SRBs. I'm keeping an eye on our apoapsis height here. currently about 30 kilometers. Not super high on that apoapsis, but we're trying to pick up a bunch of horizontal speed right now. A lot of plasma going on here. No doubt about that. 3, 2, 1, mark. Clean SRB detach. And we're just continuing to punch up here. At this point, we can absolutely be going to the horizon. I'm a little concerned about the plasma situation, but it seems to be okay, actually. I guess Franlin just gets a nice light show. Cool. So we're just going to park here at the horizon, going up to 200 kilometers. We're sitting at 120 right now. 140. 160. 180. And 200. Beautiful. So we've got a decent amount left here in terms of delta V. Let's do our circularization burn here. How much DV are we going to need for that? We've got enough in our center core here. I love it. So that's looking good. We're going to need to extend solar panels eventually. What do we have for electric charge? Yeah, we're chewing through the electric charge. I'm not shocked. Oh, wow, that took a while to load. Ooh, okay. Look at all those Octo 2s. I'm not shocked about that we're really chewing through this. For the record, we probably should have made them all be in hibernation. In retrospect, that might not have been a bad idea. I'm going to extend these solar panels, though, and we'll also extend these solar panels at this time. Honestly, this should be fine. Yeah, we're completely okay here. So we don't need to put all of them into hibernation. They have reaction wheels, right? They do not. Okay, that's right. Because we needed this SAS because we have one of those guys buried in here underneath this Clampotron docking port, but in there nevertheless. Cool. So we're going to get into position for our circularization burn here. And there we go. We definitely have a lot of velocity here. No doubt about that. Long coast phase. We'll continue to coast here for a bit. Starting in 30, 20, 10, and 5. 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. So we're accelerating into orbit here. We drifted a little bit below our target apoapsis point, but that's fine. I don't really care about that. And this is close enough. We'll get ourselves a bit of a rendezvous here, and we need to set the station here as our target. We can see that we're 0.1 degrees off on that. I'm not too concerned. What would we look like if we tried to do a rendezvous here? That would be awful. Okay, we're probably going to have to do a couple of orbits. It would help if I timed it correctly, but, you know, can't be bothered with that. That sounds like work. So I'll do a couple of orbits here, and this should do the trick, I think. Actually, we are going to need one additional orbit. Okay. Sometime around here. Separation of 1.6 kilometers. We can probably dial that in, but it's close enough to go on. So that'll do. We'll get into position for this burn. And this is definitely going to be a pretty decent drain on our power, but it isn't a big deal, I don't think. We can always send up a bigger power module if we need to. That was always something we were discussing doing, right? So that'll be fine. And let's warp on over here. We're going to have a couple of orbits. Beautiful. One more orbit. Okay. Our electric charge is not amazing. That's for sure. I hope we don't run out of power here. If we do, we might have to commence our orbit our burn here slightly early. I'm just watching that power. We've got about 10 seconds here. I think we're good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Okay, almost overshot it. Did overshoot it slightly there. We're going to run out of power here, but we've got this absolutely fine. So at this point, we're going to switch over into target mode. Of course, we're going to need to warp until we get power again. We are out of power at this moment. There we go. And that's absolutely fine. So we're in target mode here. We need to flip over to target retrograde, and I'm going to warp to be about here, 10 minutes in the future. Plenty of power for the moment, and we've got lots of battery supply on the station. But we could certainly put some of these into hibernation, I suppose. This is definitely something that would have been better done at the VAB. No doubt about that. I'll just put a few of them into hibernation, and we'll call that good for now. Cool. So we're flipping around to target retrograde here. No power issues as long as we have direct sunlight. So that'll be fine. And where's the actual station at? Should be around somewhere. There it is. 3.6 kilometers. I like it. So we're going to warp a little bit closer here. 2.3 kilometers. It's loading in now. There we go. And I'm just going to cut our relative velocity here down to 0. We're going to do this a bit the old-fashioned way. Oh, this engine is so wildly overpowered for this. Okay. We'll call that good for now, and I want to head over towards target. So we're going to need to basically flip all the way around, right? And that's fine. All the way around here. This is target retrograde right here. We actually may want to kill our relative velocity slightly. We can thrust limit this engine down heavily. We're going to be ditching it soon. This is unfortunately going to be space junk at this point. I'm not used to having this light of payload. Okay, something kind of like that. And now we can point at the actual station and get a little bit closer. We are definitely drifting apart, and that's to be expected. Cool. So we'll point at the station, and we'll get closer. We'll have to do some corrective burns on the way over here, for sure. So I'm going to pull us up over this way as a corrective burn right now. We just want these two to completely overlap. There we go. That's pretty good. I don't want to be in first-person mode. Thank you very much. And we're just going to continue... Hi, first-person mode. We're just going to continue over here for a little bit. Now we'll warp in a little bit closer. And we're going to need to continue these corrective burns, right? And I'm okay with this continuing to get more and more quick here for now. We're still quite a ways away, so this is fine. We've got these corrective burns underway. And we can see we're coming on in. We should probably switch over to retrograde at this juncture. It does take a while to do. We've got 10 meters per second left in this, which is not a lot, but it is enough. I'm also going to thrust limit this guy down to like 5% thrust. Cool. Okay, we're still basically on a collision course here. That's looking good. No real problem there. This is going to get a lot quicker to turn once we're no longer turning all of this bulk, of course. But let's head on in here. Yeah, we pretty much are on a collision course. Hilarious. Okay. Let's commence the braking burn. This thing might be a little too thrust limited. There we go. Cool. So we'll call that good. I'm going to, at this point, flip over to, like, radial out. And we're going to stage this stage. Oh, these are kind of messed up. We'll do something kind of like that, and then we'll flip out our drogue chutes here. There we go. So I just want to point away so that when we decouple this, it gets tossed away from us. There we go. But of course, every action has an equal and opposite reaction, and so that gives us some momentum away from the station as well. So that is to be expected. We will just position over here. And we'll kill that relative velocity. Is this engine not firing? Activate that engine, thanks. There we go. So I think we're going to attach this. I'm thinking at the end of the science module, or maybe like over here. I mean, over here would be fine. So we can set that as our target. And now we want to flip over to here, of course, and set this as our target. Then we want to rotate over until we are pointed. And I want to control from here. So we want to head over to here. Just get that lined on up. Eventually. There we go. Something along the lines of this. Apparently I can't SAS in the left direction. That's intriguing. Now I can. That was weird. That was very, very strange. It doesn't really matter, though. We'll just get positioned here. Okay. That'll do. And we're going to rotate this guy right on around. Beautiful. I want to get our roll lined up approximately correct. There we go. And we're going to burn on in here a little bit. I'm just adjusting our heading to be a little bit more correct here. There we go. Beautiful. This is where I wish that we had RCS on this, but I didn't include that. So we're definitely going to need to do some corrective burning, something kind of like this for now. Cool. For now, that's looking decent. Let's warp on in a bit. Looks like we need to correct it down this way ever so slightly, so we'll do exactly that. And let's get this thing docked on up. And then, of course, we'll get rid of this ferry. Not like that's going to be very difficult. Ooh, did not quite get that dock on there. Docking forces should definitely be taking over here pretty soon. Hello, docking. Are you okay? Apparently it doesn't like this. So, I think what we need to do is adjust this angle ever so slightly. Like that. There we go. Now we're docked up. Cool. So that'll do. Now we're going to undock over here. This part, of course, goes away. So now we're going to warp until we're clear. And I want to turn over towards retrograde, which is only right over here. We're actually clear right now. So we're out of here. We do not need this to be thrust limited. Goodbye, station. We're leaving. So we're watching this periapsis, and we're just going to deorbit this, right? We don't care about recovering it. We're just bringing it home. So we're taking that periapsis down until it's negative. There we go. That's coming home. Beautiful. And just like that, this is good to go. So what do we get in payment for this? We get 10% additional payment if we connect it to an existing station, which we did. So we get an extra 12.3K, so that's 135, we'll call it, and 30 rep. Okay. So we'll need to add that in. So we add in our 100, and then we add in 35. So we're at 28 right now. So this would be 33, and then this goes up to 53. So something like that. We also get 30 reputation out of this. 1, 2, 3. Boom. Fantastic. And with that, it is time to put a cut in here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are going to revel in the fact that Madbro can no longer get our gold. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings. And a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, James, Shadow Wolf, and Lohan80, Rogue Corvid, Kentogan, Andy Magar, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12 UK, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.